All right, so let's start off with the big question. Why was Arizona State the right place for you?
Arizona State's always been my dream school. Coming out of high school, I came out during like the COVID era. They were always on my dream board. One of the top schools I always wanted to attend, just based off the scenery around Arizona State and the culture. It's much more than the NIL stuff people always talk about with Pat Tillman, all these running backs that have came out of Arizona State. So it was much more of the culture thing that kind of just sold me coming to Arizona State and the weather. I'm from the East Coast, so getting away from that cold weather, it was great. So I was ready to hop on a flight and enjoy this weather and the scenery.
Are you going to be ready for the summers though here in Arizona when it's 118 every day?
Yeah, I feel like I'll enjoy it. I
So,
hope.
walk our viewers and listeners through the recruiting process. Obviously, you make the decision after the success you had at Delaware State to jump in the portal. What was the process like between you and the ASU staff?
The process was pretty easy. I just told them the type of guy I was. Um, I just told them that I'm ready to work. They fell in love with how hungry I am. Coming from FCS, I haven't always had like the resources and the best. Like everything wasn't in front of me. I had to go out and take, in a sense, on the field, and I had to do a lot of things on my own to get to where I am right now. So I feel as though they understand how hungry I am, and they know that I'm not going to take this opportunity lightly.
And of course, you make your way out to Tempe and take the visit. Once you got to meet these coaches face to face, get a sense to see the facilities up close, what were some of the things that made the biggest impressions on you?
Just the coaching staff, them accepting, them hearing me out, letting me bring my son and my grandfather out here on a fly on a command just because they were hearing me out on how hungry I am to just for the opportunity. Like I said, Coach Aguano and Coach Dillingham, I feel as though they gave a dog a bone, which is an opportunity, and I just had to prove myself to my teammates to be accepted into this powerhouse program.
Kenny Dillingham is one of the youngest coaches in the country, but still has had a lot of success in his young career. What's it like from a player's perspective to be playing for a coach, still relatively young, but also, one who's, had such an upward trajectory of his career?
It's great. I'm excited to get to work with him. I feel as though he's as hungry as just as me, so I'm just excited to get to work with my teammates and the coaching staff.
And, that includes Coach Sean Aguano, whose track record of developing extremely productive running backs is pretty special. What jumps out to you most about Coach Aguano and what excites you about being able to work with him this season?
He preaches the same thing of where I came from with Coach Portis. The little things. You can't. It's not all about making the big plays. We talk about pass protection and little things like that to get to the next level. Special teams. You can't take the little things for granted. And just being a good man on and off the field. That's what really sold me. I have a son, so it's far more than football for me. I feel that this coaching staff will help me on and off the field. If that makes sense.
You mentioned, being a father, how that's a lot of responsibility on top of the all the demands of being a student athlete these days. How do you feel being a father has, maybe shaped your approach and to your football career?
It shaped my approach a lot. I don't take a lot of things for granted when it comes to this football thing, and it's all about the opportunity that it's all about the opportunity and how you present yourself to rising to the occasion. And yeah,
Of course, you mentioned, being able to kind of grow off the field as well and the culture of the program. So, what is this Arizona State football program getting in you off the field? What kind of person and character are you bringing to this program?
a leader, a hard worker. I want people to be able to look at me and know that I'm going to give them 100%. That's what they're going to get out of me each and every day while I'm on this campus and while I'm playing for Arizona State. You know, I'm just grateful to be here. I'm glad to be here.
You're the latest in a little mini run of FCS running backs making the jump to Arizona State. It was what Cam Scatterbo did, a couple of years ago. Did that maybe inform your decision and seeing that you could maybe think that you could maybe be the next Scat?
For sure, that was just the cherry on top. Kim Scatterbo coming here and making it out from the FCS. I feel as though I'm physical. We have similarities a lot, so I feel as though this was the best decision ultimately to get to the next level.
How are you preparing now for that jump up from that FCS level of football to Power Four football?
It's the same thing. I'm gonna be myself, work hard. I feel as though the resources is the biggest thing for as far as FCS to Power Four.
And of course, you were learned from Clinton Portis, a guy who was pretty productive back in his day, as the running backs coach at Delaware State. What were some of the key lessons that you were able to take away from your time with Coach Portis?
Key lessons he preached was what you do off the field is what you'll probably do on the field. Whether that's taking care of your body. You have to be a professional at the end of the day. And I feel as a lot of people, young kids coming up trying to get to this level, they don't. They think that it's a game, when it comes to stuff as such. But you have to be a pro on and off the field. Whether that's taking care of your responsibilities, or taking care of your body, things as such. And, he always preached you have to be a hard worker. You have to be one of the best on the team. People have to know the dedication, the work that you put in. So I feel as though I'm gonna fit in over at ASU just off of the fact of what Coach Portis instilled in me at the time at Delaware State, which is just being a hard worker and proving to yourself, but not only your teammates and your peers around you.
For any viewers and listeners out there who might not have seen you in action or caught your game film, give them a scouting report. What kind of a skill set are you bringing to this offense?
Um, I'm just a hard worker. I don't want to like toot my own horn. I just say stay tuned and come out to see your Sun Devils put on and potentially be a contender coming up for this 2026 season.
Are there any backs, that you maybe model certain parts of your game after?
For sure, Le'Veon Bell. I'm gonna throw Coach Clint Portis in there. Watch him. Le'Veon Bell, Clint Portis. I'd say.
Those are two pretty good ones right there.
Yeah, that's it, really.
Uh, so you've obviously been highly productive throughout your college career so far, and scored a lot of touchdowns. What's your favorite touchdown you've scored in college?
Um, I like to say the first game we played against UD. And actually, they called that back. The first touchdown I scored at UD, they called it back. They said the holding after we already scored. But going against that was an in-state rivalry game. There was a lot of emotion built up in that game, and I feel like I overcame a lot to get to that situation, to get to that point in my life. So it was like a coming to grace moment. It meant a lot to me. So definitely against University of Delaware.
And so, of course, ASU's offense has battled through a lot of injuries last year. Still was able to get to 8 wins. But when you look at the overall offensive scheme that Marcus Arroyo and Kenny Dillingham like to operate, what jumps out to you about the offense and how your skill set fits into it?
I love their philosophy, and how they like to attack the defenses. They like physical playmakers, and I feel as though I'm such. So I feel like confident going into this offense. Speaking the X's and O's to them, they're helping me understand the game way more, especially Coach Iguano and how he likes to read the defenses. He's taught me some things with me only being here for a short amount of time, and I'm just excited to see where they take me.
When you look ahead to this 2026 season, what are the big goals that you would like to accomplish during your time here in Tempe?
My goals is for me and my teammates to be a contender and win it all.
And then ultimately, next fall when you're running through Tillman Tunnel past the Tillman statue, you're in the maroon and gold. What kind of excites you the most about playing for Arizona State?
What excites me the most is, uh, building new relationships with my teammates and the city. You know, it's a great city around here. Like I'm seeing the atmosphere, the fans. You know, I'm just excited to see the people around here and put my best foot forward when it comes on the field. That's going to take care of itself. But I'm just excited for my teammates, my fellow peers, the coaching staff. I feel as though this is going to be a great year for not only me but ASU football.
And of course, spring ball is just a couple months away. What are the things in those 15 practices that you want to show this coaching staff?
I just want to show them that I'm a great teammate. Um, I'm not a selfish player. I uplift people around me. Not only that, yeah, I'm just a good individual all around.